Hey, good morning. Back to the KWN Morning News, 9:46 now, 14 away from the hour, as we continue with the KWN Morning News. And we're going to talk a little education here. We're going to talk about some testing. We're going to talk about number one performance in Orlando coming up. Ladies, welcome to the KWN Morning News. And we welcome you to the program. And it's Patty Johnson. I almost said it. I would have been correct. I would have been correct. And Patty, what is your title?
I'm the Director of Academics and Testing for Dade County Schools.
All right. And of course, Gabriel Hastings over here on the other side of the camera. And your official title
is Director of Choral Activities for Dade Middle and Dade County High School.
And you've been here a great number of years and produced some wonderful classes, and we're going to talk about one coming up in just a minute that's done the county and the state proud just a few weeks ago. But first, let's talk about this testing thing. I guess it is coming up. It's the end of the year.
It is. It begins on April the 27th with our end of grade for our elementary and middle school, and then it will go on to into May with EOCs for the high school.
All right. What is the importance? I mean, obviously, you're coming on today talking about testing. What can the grandparents and the parents and the aunts and the uncles and what can we do as a community to help support the students as they get ready to take these very important tests?
I think the main thing is just to give them some encouragement. They've been preparing for this all year long. They know what they're doing. The teachers have prepared them well. Just getting them enough sleep, making sure they have breakfast, and just encouraging them to do their best. They know what's on the test. Most of them have taken it in the past. Little anticipation because 2 years ago we didn't take it at all. Last year, we took it, but those students who were virtual did not have to come and take it. They were not required. But this year, everyone's required. So we're just getting back into the swing of things. School is normal again, maybe.
All right. Well, that's, the testing, that was one of the things that Josh, superintendent, and I had talked about that, last year we went ahead and had the test, and if it did nothing else, it should give us a good representation of where the students were not able to keep up because of COVID.
Absolutely. And the State Department, we did not have the accountability piece of that. They're adding back some accountability this year. Since we were in more of a normal year, we won't have the entire accountability we've had in the past yet, but we are moving back in that direction.
All right. Well, fantastic. And when is the testing dates coming up?
The EOG for the elementary grades 3 through 5 and the middle school 6 through 8 will start on April 27th and end on May 6th. And then the EOCs, end of course test for the high schools, will start May 5th and end on the 13th.
All right, and then it's very important, especially for the younger folks. I mean, I guess we can encourage the high school and some of the middle schoolers, but really, the importance where really parents are going to have to step up is to make sure that you get plenty of rest. You eat a breakfast in the morning. I mean, you're ready to go to be able to have the best capabilities of passing the test. I know that's always been an important thing on anything that you do. Is if you've got to go to a situation where you've got to put some knowledge together.
Absolutely, and also getting them to school on time on those days very important, because if they're not at school on time and they're not there when testing starts, they have to sit out that day.
Well, that's not good at all, and I know that they need to be there and get ready to go. So we wish them all well, and like you said, they've been preparing for a whole year. So this is it's always good to be able to get the data back to see where this class is, depending if they're in the third grade or the fifth grade or whatever grade they're in, to know where your challenges lie for the next year.
Well, and a side note to that also is last year, even though not all of our students took the test and we were out for part of the year with COVID quarantines and such, our schools still outperformed a lot of the schools in Northwest Georgia in a lot of areas. And so we were very proud of the successes that they had last year.
Well, that's going to be coming up, and we wish the students well for sure. and I'll turn down to some musical news or some chorus news. Gabriel, tell us a little bit about, first of all, what did you do for the middle school and the high school? Not you yourself, but what are the classes doing, and what goes on a typical day with the Dade County Chorus?
Well, we have across the board, we have all of 6 ensembles completely. So in the fall at the high school, we have 2 separate ensembles, the treble chorus, which is all of the soprano and alto singers, and then the mixed chorus, which is our more advanced chorus that meets in the fall. And then at the middle school, we have a DMS 6th grade chorus, 7th grade chorus, and 8th grade chorus, and those classes meet all year long. Then in the spring at the high school, we have just one choir that meets on the block schedule this is our most advanced choir in the spring, and that's our DCHS mixed chorus.
Well, I didn't realize that. So, there's a lot, just because, hey, I remember the chorus didn't necessarily, there's several different levels.
There are lots of different levels, and inside of each of those ensembles at the high school, we usually end up having several smaller ensembles as well. So last month at the March board meeting, our both our trio singers and alternates performed for the board meeting. They performed at the literary competition, which is a GHSA sanctioned competition that was on March 11th. And then we also have our men's quartet, and we have smaller ensembles, like for example at graduation, we'll have our senior ensemble that'll perform the national anthem at graduation. We have our Voices of Dade ensemble that will go out and perform in the community occasionally. And then we also kind of will create ensembles as needed for special community events if we're requested for things.
Let me ask you now, the competition that we're going to talk about is out of the state, and this is more on a national level that Dade County competed on. Tell us a little bit about this particular event, and congratulations for being tops in that event.
Well, thank you. Our Festival Disney is a national competition for choir. They also have an instrumental competition as well for band and orchestra. But they do not recommend that you compete at this level unless you have received superior ratings at your local or district level large group performance evaluation or festival. So for the past several years, we have received superior ratings from the Georgia Music Educator Association's large group performance evaluation that happens every spring. And for choirs, what that means is they bring in 3 judges and we perform 2 pieces, and they evaluate us based on seven different categories. It's not just does it sound good, it's also diction, musicality. Can you convey the emotions of what you are singing? Are all of the pitches and rhythms correct? Is the intonation correct? So then they go into a sight reading room where they read a piece of music together. They have 5 minutes to read a piece of music that they have never read before as a group, and they're evaluated on that. So Disney requests that you don't come to compete at this level unless you have received superior ratings in those like pre-state level or district level events. So it is a national competition. So there were choirs there from New Jersey and Oklahoma, as well as Florida and Georgia. And so they performed for 3 nationally renowned conductors from Florida State, from Rollins College, and from Temple University, which is in Philadelphia. And they performed 3 pieces on stage. The first one was a piece called God So Loved the World, which is a traditional, more of a sacred choral piece. And then a piece called Nothing Gonna Stumble My Feet, which is more of an African-American spiritual. And then the third piece was a piece from Canada that is what's called a mouth reel. So if you've heard of like a fiddle reel for like a bluegrass festival or something like that, but it was a reel for your mouth. And so that one was our favorite piece that we performed. And that was the one that the judge at the end, after you perform, one of the judges comes up and does a workshop with you and goes through your pieces. And he has 15 minutes to work with us, and he probably spent 10 to 12 of it just talking about how awesome that piece was and how well that they performed it and how he wanted to do it with his own choir when he got back. So it was a wonderful, wonderful competition and experience for them, to be able to be evaluated by these college level choir conductors, nationally renowned across the entire country.
Wow. And Dade County coming out on tops is quite an accomplishment, because do you compete in different levels as far as your school size, or is this just one size fits all?
Yes, it's based on your school size.
Wow.
So we competed against other choirs from other AA schools.
Wow, across the country.
Yes,
that's fantastic. Congratulations, to be able to achieve that. Like you said, you had to give superior ratings at the region level and the state level to be able to really compete at a national level.
Yes.
So we got a national championship.
Yes.
At high school. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's fantastic to be able to do that. Dade County, even in the Davis choir, and I mean the choirs have really have been an intricate part of the educational system here in Dade for a great number of years.
Yes. I have been here for 15 years, but Kathy Atkins was the choir director before me, and I did my student teaching with her, and so I just tried to carry on the legacy that she has already established. And our kids are the goal every year. We say we want to be better than we were the year before. So every year when my 8th grade comes through, they're like, we're the best 8th grade chorus that's ever been. And I'm like, well, just wait till next year, because we're trying to make the next year's choir is going to be better than last year's choir. So we really try to just make sure that we are better than we were the day before. And that in chorus especially, it's incremental. It's a very small amount of progress that happens each and every day. But after days and days and days pass, it's really cool for them to look back now in April at what they sounded like in August and see the difference. But because the change happens so small over a long period of time, they kind of don't notice how far that they've come until they take a look back and listen to those recordings from the first day of school. And they're like, whoa, we sound way different. Whoa, we know way more than we did. So I'm extremely proud of them, 6th grade through 12th grade, and how hard that they have worked across the last several years, especially in dealing with all the things that we had to deal with COVID.
Well, ladies, quite an accomplishment. I know the academic testing that'll be coming up that we talked about, Ms. Johnson, that very, very important across the board for all of the different age groups that'll be doing that coming up. So we hope that the community will get behind the family and the folks that really can make a difference with the students taking these tests. And congratulations once again to a national championship. Now, I would make sure that I would use that a lot.
Okay.
At the high school level, at the middle school, say, hey, the home of a national champion.
There we go.
That's just got a good ring to it, doesn't it?
It does.
It certainly does. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we thank you so much for being on the show and listening to the show. We thank Senator Mullis earlier being on with us here on the KWN Morning News. And we'll do it all again tomorrow, Tuesday, April the 19th. Stay with us throughout today. We got 2 more hours of Rick and Bubba. Eric Erickson at noon. Sean Hannity at 3 this afternoon. The Braves, if you want to stay up again, they'll be on tonight. Our pregame, I think, is at 8:05 tonight. They're still on the West Coast. Good morning. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for being here on KWN Today.
Your home for news, talk, and sports. WKWN Trenton, 101.3